This is Pharma Forum web editor Nicole Raleigh, and today I am joined by Anthony Cilento, Vice President, Data Science and Customer Insights at Bayer, for a post-Axtria Ignite 2025 discussion on the conference and Agentic AI more generally. A pleasure to speak with you today, Anthony.
Thank you very much for having me.
So, industry can fairly be said to have embraced AI and is quickly advancing from generative AI or GenAI towards agentic AI. And I was wondering if you could speak to this advancement, Anthony, perhaps giving example of what has changed for your team thus far and what changes you yet anticipate.
Sure. It's been a fast-moving journey so far in the AI industry. It has really been remarkable. What you thought was possible or what wasn't possible 6 months ago is now becoming possible. And even the use cases on Gen AI and now things moving into agentic AI have just transformed completely. What started off as these simple use cases and tests and pilots for Gen AI to be able to leverage structured data or unstructured data to be able to summarize things are now turning into these autonomous self-sufficient agents for the industry. And companies and teams that can tap into what agentic AI is and understand what it isn't are really going to be able to have a real competitive advantage in the industry. Some of what's necessary is some forward thinking and planning on what you want agentic AI to be for your organization, whether you want to build it internally or partner with external vendors or do some combination of both. But I think a clear strategy on how you're going to use agentic AI is needed by any company looking to tap into this incredible technology.
Thank you. So you mentioned this testing and piloting. What industry is also trying to do is engage more directly with patients, of course. So do you think industry has thus far been successful?
Engaging with patients, I would say not yet. I think that there's more to come there. I do think HCPs and health practitioners, I think our first step. I think it's for us in the commercial organizations to leverage agentic AI to help us engage more effectively with HCPs. To first start using agentic AI to really create virtual versions of the HCPs that we can test messaging with and really look to really understand our customer better. I think we can also, I guess, to answer your question on the patient side, look to replicate patients as these like AI digital agents in which you can get a lot of patient input from one of these agents really quickly, and then that'll help us engage them, whether it be with promotion, non-promotional and digital messaging, just in a better way, so that we're getting the right messaging to the right patient. So I see agentic AI as being able to replicate the patient, replicate the HCP, so that we can internally understand our customers more effectively. And I think that is kind of one of the promises that from past AI that we were going to get that we never realized. And agentic AI is going to give us that opportunity to really realize that promise.
That's a very interesting notion. Thank you for sharing that. So with commercialization of new therapies, advanced therapies, so
Yes.
we're talking specifically about cell and gene therapies and pathways,
Yes.
regulatory pathways, get that word out.
Yep.
So in terms of changes needed for that, in order to get to the point of changes needed for commercialization of that, in what way can AI, whether that be Gen AI or Agentic AI, help ensure better success?
Absolutely. So I think first, I think understanding our customers is first. I think we can use agentic AI to help us test messaging, review content, and determine what the best way to help us target and reach the customers with the right messages. And something that we've been trying to improve on for a while now, but I think agentic AI gives us that real opportunity to make this process go faster. I also think it helps us it'll help us to create at a more personalized level for the type of patients in these rare disease or cell and gene type areas so that we can reach them more effectively. It'll help us understand, give us opportunity also with the payer customers and the market access customers to kind of replicate and understand how they're thinking about some of our products. stuff that we would have to go out and do a lot of external research on or kind of surveys on. We can then create agents to kind of replicate these types of areas and these types of customers to question them and help us sharpen our messaging so that we can get to them, so that we can be more succinct and really understand them better. It also allows us to micro segment our customers better and tailor things down to a more specific and granular level with them. So I think it just enables us to do a lot more in a lot quicker time. It's almost like these agentic AI agents will be these digital co-workers that everybody has. So if you're working internally and you're commercializing a product, you'll have this partner able to help you do things quicker. But if you're out there in the field as a customer facing and you're going to see customers speaking about these rare disease and cell and gene type products, there'll be a partner there helping you to understand, record your interactions, and help guide you through some of those conversations and tell you and help you with some of the key messaging that you have to deliver. So it's just this 1+1=3 type phenomenon that we're going to start to see. And the companies that do it best will be able to really market these types of rare disease and cell and gene type products.
Thank you. So, keywords that I want to pull out for my next question would be co-worker or implementation within the business. So, we've been talking a lot about the progression from AI to agentic AI and how beneficial it can potentially be, sort of pretty much all the way through. But what about the culture shift that that might necessitate? Have you noticed any culture shift in industry with these new advancements?
Yeah, I mean, first you notice it at home and you notice it out in the world, right? Folks are using some of the chat GPTs and Claude AIs in the world to just answer some of their common questions and to help them prepare for things that they're doing. I mean, so my children, for example, deeply diving into. So you see that acceptance coming, right? And that is also the difference between, Gen AI, agentic AI, and past AI is you had to be an AI expert to be able to tap into this. Now we're all tapping into it. And so what that's leading to is that the ground is becoming very fertile for this type of technology. Whereas you thought that the customer team would never be open to using some sort of automated AI capability, they're using it on their own. So there's a lot more acceptance that will come if it's delivered in the right manner to them. Same thing with analytical folks. They want to see how the sausage is being made, all the data and all the coding behind everything, and not trust that AI is kind of reviewing everything correctly and spitting out the right information. But because they're getting involved and they're testing and learning, they're using it in their home life and then on some simple task in the work life, everybody's kind of raising their knowledge of it just organically. And that's creating an environment where organizations are now able to bring in some of this new thinking and new technologies in a better way. And they're being accepted more and the change management becomes a little less in those areas. You're still going to have it, as there's always going to be skeptics or folks who are not into the new way yet, but you're seeing a lot more acceptance across internal and customer facing teams than you have before.
I like that statement, raising knowledge organically. So, on that point, my final question today, Anthony, what other major challenges are you facing in your role right now that we haven't yet mentioned that perhaps AI and specifically agentic AI could help address?
Absolutely. With all the newer products in the industry that have come out, companies are now, because of the challenges with access and patient services, and because there's already so many products out there, right? And that are treating all these diseases, margins are very thin during launch, and we're asked to launch with less and be more efficient with less. So that means that as you're launching a product, you're going to have less to spend on marketing. You're going to have smaller field forces. You're going to have less analysts inside doing performance evaluation and research and all those types of good things. So we're being squeezed, and therefore we have to be more targeted. We have to be better to be able to get the information we need to properly meet the customer needs. In order to do that, we need to be fast and effective and efficient. And AI is going to play a big role in that. And it's going to enable us. It's not going to reduce workforce, as some of the CEOs might be thinking out there as they learn about this, but it's going to augment and allow teams to be able to meet the future needs for the business without having to double the size of their field force, without having to double the size of their analytical teams, and their marketing spend. So folks that really tap into this are going to be able to meet that demand. They're going to be able to retain margins. They're going to be able to launch effectively, especially in these rare disease and cell and gene areas, if they're able to set up a system in which they can leverage all that agentic AI is going to bring to the organization. So it's definitely an exciting, definitely an exciting area. And for me, who's leading a large team in this area, I'm encouraging my team to kind of get involved, learn, let's see where we can be effective so that we can start to create the reality of being faster and quicker and better than our competition.
Absolutely. Agentic AI is augmentation rather than replacement. Thank you, Anthony. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And that concludes another episode of the Pharma Forum podcast. You can find more information about this episode, including a download link and information about previous installments at pharmaforum.com/podcasts. The Pharma Forum podcast is also available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Overcast, Pocket Casts, Podbean, and pretty much wherever else you download your other podcasts from. Just search for Pharma Forum and follow and hit subscribe. Of course, don't forget to visit our website itself, where you can sign up for daily and weekly news and analysis bulletins. And do follow us on Blue Sky and LinkedIn at Pharma Forum. That's all for now. Thank you for listening.